woke up to bagpipes, just like the Queen on my birthday. So in the Airbnb, this was a lovely little Gaelic picture of our route today. So up around from Scrabster, all the way down to Johnny Groats, through to Wick, right down to Brora, with some stops along the way. So we set off, very different scenes this morning. Coastal, pretty much all the way down, lots of beautiful beaches and very different vibe obviously from the west. This was a lovely little coffee shop, and here was some Highland cows. So we had a drive down, and our first stop this morning was the highest point in the UK. And again, as you can see, just an amazing sunny day, with beautiful 360 views right the way around. So have a little look at Dunnet Head. So we are at Dunnet Head, the most northern point in the UK, and over there is Emily's Head. This is Hoy, all the islands, all the Orkney Islands. The most amazing day ever, again, beautiful. So we then headed round down to John O'Groats, the most easterly point you can get to in the UK, which on first appearance, when you pull into the car park, there's not much there, but as we found, there's quite a lot of little hidden gems. So we did our little tourist bits with our signpost, and then we went for a coffee. And so this is John O'Groats Hotel back in the day, and it's ever since been extended quite vastly with these crazy, again quite Nordic coloured structures that attach to the hotel and the inn, and that lines the cliff walls. Again, the water just off the scale clear, from, you know, coming from a harbour town ourselves, and just our harbour looks nothing like this in terms of the clarity and the colour of the water. Quite unbelievable. We then did a little look on TripAdvisor, and there's a brewery at John O'Groats, but if you enter through the back way rather than through the gift shop way, there is what's called the final pub, or the last pub, in the UK, and it was absolutely brilliant. So this is the brewery, this is the bit around the back, the last pub. And we went in, and it's just the most oldie worldy little kind of makeshift bar where they make their own beer on site, which you'll see in a minute, just behind this little red curtain just behind the bar. So they serve all their own brew. And I was asking the barman about this building, and I said, has it been made to look like this, or is it, you know, is it got some history in it? And he said that this is one of the oldest properties at John O'Groats, and everything else was built onto it. This is the little brewery through the little red curtain. This is where they make all the beer for the bar. And then just through the other side of here is the kind of gift shop, and this is where it says welcome to the last pub. And this is one of the ladies who lived in the cottage when it was a house originally. There's also 8 Doors Distillery at John O'Groats, quite small, again like a nice little coffee shop, but had a little look around there. But the main treat was coming up next, which was my favourite whiskey, which is Old Pulteney, and that was where we were heading next. We were heading down from John O'Groats down to Wick, which is where the Old Pulteney distillery is. So yeah, but on the way we had another stop. So our next stop on the way down to Wick is Duncansby's Stacks, which you park and little walk across the tops, with some amazing sort of cliff views and just a really lovely view off the cliff edges with these really quite fascinating, obviously, stacks of rocks and cliffs that have kind of been worn away over the years, but quite impressive to look at. So that was next on our journey down the east coast, and then we end up at the Old Pulteney Distillery in Wick. And then here it is, the first highlight of the day. This was unbelievable. So excited to even be here. Was quite happy just to look into the shop. We'd had a look online and seen that the VIP tours were quite expensive. There was a tasting session was quite expensive, and I was quite happy just to stick my head in to say I'd been. But this man, this is Tim. Tim was a legend. They were very quiet today, because we're obviously out of season. The season's just started. Told him that we were quite short of time, told him it was my birthday, and this guy gave me a full tasting session from top to bottom of all the expensive things right down to the bottom end, and then give us a full tour at that of the highest standard of the distillery, including all of the warehouses, and found out some brilliant things, that the actual bottle design is based on the stills of how they make it, and this was the warehouse, and it was just a great day. And this was, we had a good hour and a bit having a look around the Old Pulteney Distillery, and I couldn't get the smile off my face, I'm not going to lie. It was absolutely fantastic. So a few little videos and photographs from there, and then I'll tell you what happens next. So we then headed down to Brora, where we were staying tonight, but on the way we stopped at Waligo Steps, which is pretty quite a scary walk on the cliff edges, but the most dramatic sort of views off the top with this amazing waterfall, if you can see it on the video, that drops off the other side off the cliff edge. Quite scary, but pretty impressive nonetheless. And then from here we headed further down the coast to our stop for this evening, which was Brora, to my birthday accommodation, which is definitely the best accommodation we've been in so far, but this is what Emily got for my birthday. And we are in some glamping pods with barrel sauna and just all kinds of lovely things in the middle of one of the valleys. So I'll keep the scenery rolling and you can see where we ended up when we get there. So here we are at the NC500 pods, and what was epic was our pod for this evening is called Carol Rock, which I thought was a wonderful little touch for my birthday. This is our pod just here, and there it is, Carol Rock. And just over the way is the barrel sauna, just down the path. So I had a little look around. There's the sauna just there. Had a wonderful hour in there, and then we went out for some tea in Brora village, which was a wonderful little Indian called Sid's Spice, which was delicious and came highly recommended on TripAdvisor. And then back to the pod for an early-ish night for our drive tomorrow, which takes us to the end of the NC500 and then heading back home.